Okay, so I did come back in and re-wet this. What I want to do, and I have shown this before, but this just medicine dropper, I use that to drop water into my paints on the palette, and that way everything's just ready to go. So I wanted this really wet because I wanted to be able to just drop in some colors and have them spread, which is really one of the lovely things about using watercolors, is just seeing what they're going to do when they hit that water and they can spread and mix in with each other. And so you can see I'm skipping over the spots where I want the aspens to be, and I'm just coming in with the paint on the edges of that. And by leaving the aspens dry, that gives me a little control of where the paint spreads. It'll still go in spots you didn't necessarily want it to go, but that is part of the fun of painting and doing any other kind of craft, isn't it? You just work with what you have and you get creative with the little surprises that come in. And so the more intense of the pigment I put towards the top, and this helps with indicating, suggesting some distance, some depth. So when you look up, the sky closest over your head is usually pretty dark. And as it gets farther away to the horizon, there's more dust and distance. The atmosphere will give you more of a faded look, whereas if you were over at where the horizon was, it would look darker, but when it's from where you're standing farther away, it's going to be paler, less defined, so it'll be more blurry, less detail. And as I'm coming closer, I'm on the area near, and that's quite a bit darker than I wanted, so I'm going to lighten that up a little. Water, and that looks better. And then I want a pathway of sorts here, so I don't want to put too much more green there. In fact, I think I want to lift some of that off if I can. So you can just take a rag, paper towel, whatever works for you, and kind of blot that out. And so I have a green. This is the green that has more of a yellow, so it brings it more forward to your eye. Whereas this green that has more blue in it, it's the turquoise, it goes further away from you. And so in order to lighten this spot, I have this brush that's still wet, and I just want to lift some of that color out. That's pretty intense right there. And then I can come back in with some browns, or whatever color I want the path to be. Maybe some purple mixed with brown. And a path is going to lay kind of horizontal, so take your brush strokes horizontally. And that will kind of help suggest that that's a flat spot. And then this lighter spot, that's kind of neat because that makes it look like there's some distance past the pathway. Okay, so now when you look at aspens, you might say they're white, but they're not totally white. There's going to be shadows. There's a lot of a greenish tint to them. And when this dries more, because I want to keep a clean edge between the background and the aspens, then I'll come in and define that more.